Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Gwilda Wiyaka's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the Science of Magic or endorsed in any manner by Gwilda Wiyaka, rel-mar Media Company, its affiliated networks, stations, or employees. Welcome to the Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, a program dedicated to uncovering the unified nature of reality and humanity's ever-evolving place as truly galactic beings. For more information on the Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, visit us online at www.thescienceofmagic.net.
Welcome to the Science of Magic, a place where scientists and mystics come together to access truth. We're coming to you through the unique and evolutionary X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, and can also be found on our website, thescienceofmagic.net. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. This hour we'll be exploring life purpose. What is my purpose? Why am I here? It's a question many of us have pondered. For some, it may be a passing query, but for others, it can take on an almost obsessive quality. I'm one of the latter. From my earliest memories, I've always sensed that I was here to do something, and time was short. Yet, try as I may, I couldn't figure out what it was. I seem to have quite a few accomplishments, from 3 degrees to numerous and varied occupations over my lifetime. These endeavors were not necessarily because I'm so creative and dynamic, but rather because of the relentless search for my purpose. I started looking for that purpose in my occupation. Alas, I was doomed to failure. One can only live their purpose from an occupation, but an occupation does not dictate purpose. Next, I turned to spiritual beliefs, only to fail again. One can live one's purpose regardless of their choice of a spiritual path. I thought maybe if I could just be of service, then I'd find my purpose. I joined Search and Rescue and participated in many altruistic volunteer groups. While I will always be of service, as it's part of who I am in and of itself. Service is not my life purpose either. I became frustrated, despairing of ever finding what I came to do. I was about to give up altogether when I woke up one night with an amazing realization. My life purpose was not something I was to do, but rather be. Everything we think, do, or say carries a frequency. My purpose is in expressing that frequency. Nothing more, nothing less. I cannot help but live my life purpose as my frequency expresses through everything I do. Like all things, purpose is not static, but ever evolving. There's a built-in guidance system unerringly directing us to our life purpose if we pay attention. It's known as the joy and sorrow sine wave. If we embrace our sorrow and joy in equal measure, neither avoiding sorrow nor clinging to joy, we're naturally put on our path. Joy and sorrow temper us. Embracing them reduces resistance, allowing us to express our natural frequency in any given moment. Paradoxically, one needs to follow one's joy to find purpose. We all came hardwired to do our purpose. We can tell if we're on track by noticing how we feel about what we're engaging in. So which is it? Both. Our suffering indicates we're attached to something which no longer serves. Without our suffering, we would not know when we've fallen off the track. Our joy indicates we're acting according to our nature, and our true nature is our life's purpose. If we allow avoid our sorrow, we never make the necessary course corrections. If we cling to our joy, our process stops, and we no longer evolve into the next phase of our purpose. From the seasons to the movement of our solar system around the galaxy, life is constantly shifting and changing. Just so, our purpose changes expression from one moment to the next. It's all about staying in process. Old joy clung to overly long becomes sorrow. As I look back over my life, there's an unmistakable thread running through everything I've ever done or been. That thread is my life's purpose. I've been living my life purpose all along. All I need to do is stay in process, stand in the truth of who I am, and it's formed around me. Ultimately, my life purpose is my life. Our guest this hour, Rhys Thomas, author of Discover Your Purpose, is a visionary speaker, trainer, and coach in the personal growth and energy medicine field. He's the founder of the Rhys Thomas Institute of Energy Medicine and the creator of the Rhys Method, a powerful system of self-discovery, transformation, and healing. After this commercial break, I'll introduce Rhys Thomas, and together we'll explore the ever so exclusive life purpose and how to live it. Could be life-changing, so don't go away. You're listening to The Science of Magic. Prior innovative episodes can always be found on our website, thescienceofmagic.net. Though the world seems in turmoil around us, let's not lose our way. The stars still shine down, blessing us with their light. The sun rises every morning, chasing away the cold and darkness. There are good people of service in this world. We have much to be grateful for as we're wrapped in the arms of all of God's creation. This is Gwilda Wiyaka, host of the Science of Magic Radio, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. I hope your holiday is filled with comfort and joy as you're surrounded by those you love. I'd like to thank all of you for being our loyal listeners on the X-Zone Broadcast Network and for joining us on this grand adventure called life. As the New Year's dawns, let us all stand in truth as we embrace peace. Welcome back. This is the Science of Magic, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. Our guest this hour is Rhys Thomas, author of Discover Your Purpose and founder of the Rhys Thomas Institute of Energy Medicine. His website is rhysthomasinstitute.com. Rhys, thank you so much for joining us on the Science of Magic.
Oh, you're welcome. Glad to be here.
What's your background? How'd you get into personal growth and energy medicine?
Like you, it was my life purpose, but of course I didn't know that for most of my life, and I loved your story about trying to discover yourself in work, and then in spirituality, and then in service, and I think that's many people's stories. Trying to find out who we are, especially in our 20s. I decided that I was going to be a achieving kind of a man, which is what I assumed all good men were supposed to be, and that was what I was trying to be, what other people wanted me to be, and in my 20s, and as all of us in our 20s were trying to become something rather than becoming somebody. And so I spent a lot of my life really trying to achieve. I was a professional tennis player and a martial artist and running businesses and pushing myself at this level of this is what a successful man should be. But I wasn't really sure what a successful Rhys should be. And I did start studying Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra and Tony Robbins and various different people, and I thought I was very knowledgeable in that area. But I still noticed that this workaholic type of person that I had become in my life through my 20s and my 30s wasn't as healthy as I should be. I wasn't connecting with my family as well. I wasn't really feeling like I was supposed to be as happy as I was supposed to be. I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I was making the money and had the family and the house in the suburbs and the summer homes and all of this stuff, and it never felt right. And I finally discovered energy medicine, and started going to an energy medicine practitioner, a Barbara Brennan graduate, and then she had recommended that I study this and learn this. And when I went and started doing energy work, I discovered that this person that I had been trying to be was actually a type of person in the world, but it just wasn't my type of person. There are lots of people that are actually incredibly good at achieving and focusing and organizing and building things, but my gift and what I had always enjoyed doing in my work was the teaching part, the creative part, the idea part. And so I've been lived most of my life trying to be somebody that I thought I was supposed to be rather than the person I truly was. And that's sort of what brought me to this awareness. When I got into energy medicine, I found out that there were different energy signatures, and as you said, that's one of the ways you know your life purpose is because you have a very specific energy signature, and each of us has a unique energy signature. But what I found in doing this work and then working since then with thousands of different people is that there are 5 general, sort of almost like species or general energy signatures that people have. And those are the 5 that I wrote in my book, Discover Your Purpose, and help people, because everybody wants to know their life purpose. Even if they say, I don't even know my life purpose, it's because they think they know it. But deep down inside, everybody wants to know their life purpose, and being able to have a shortcut to that is important.
Well, this has brought up several questions for me. 1, what is an energy signature exactly? 2, why is there only 5? And 3, does it change from time to time? Because everything is always changing.
Yeah, no. So an energy signature has to do with your auric body, your energy field. At the Institute of Energy Medicine, I teach through a number of different modalities, the profiles being one of them, the foundational rock that we build our life on, and then the chakras as well. So the energy signature comes from the energy field that you have that is ultimately creating your body, creating your life, creating your ability to connect in the world. And the 5 signature qualities within people, what I've discovered are these soul qualities, and basically we're talking about the 5 kinds of people that you know, and they aren't qualities like these aren't personality profiling like the Enneagram or DISC or Myers-Briggs, which are all behavioral. These 5 qualities are soul qualities, and the soul quality doesn't change, even though it can modify itself and manage itself in any situation. So yes, if I can have this creative primary quality within me, and that will then, in this situation, be creatively talking with you and coming up with ideas, or in any other situation or throughout my life, it's going to represent itself in a slightly different way. But the theme, the very creative quality within me, was always there, and it was it's ultimately is the only thing that will make me happy. And so we don't really shift from these profiles. That's why it's so important to discover your primary profile. And just a real quick review of what these 5 are. People know people that are super creative and artistic and sort of not always in their body and always up thinking and very spiritual. And then you've got people that are deep feelers and super soft and they're the people that sort of just they're always like one moment away from crying and gentle people, and then you have the bigger, stronger, sort of caring and caretaking type of people that have big round faces and hug you all the time, and they're smiling and they're always there to support you when you need help and support. And then you have the people that are very sort of like they're strong and evenly balanced and good athletes and very good at work and excellent in school and straight A's and super achievers. And then you have all of the other people that you would know who are these sort of dynamic people. They've got a lot of emotion, but they've also got they're very deep feelers, but they can be incredibly strong and willful and charming sometimes and seductive sometimes, and they can be wonderful actors, actresses, politicians. They make great. They can actually, because they're natural actors and actresses in the world, they actually can be any of the other four qualities. They can be very creative, they can be very deep feeling, they can be very caretaking, and they can achieve as well. But ultimately, because they're leaders, they don't ever like to be told what to do or really want to work for anyone else. They want to lead. They want to be in charge. And that's sort of the distinguishing factor in their world. And knowing which one of those you are really takes the trial and error out of your life. As you had mentioned, it's about knowing how to express this energy signature. And the problem is that if we're taught, a lot of women who are leaders and achievers are taught that it's really better for you to be a caretaker or a deep feeler.
Yeah, we're always being taught exactly what we're supposed to be rather than what we are. This sounds very archetypical in nature. Do you feel that we are evolving as a species at this time?
Absolutely.
So then don't you think these archetypes can evolve also, and maybe we can embrace more than one?
Well, I mean, we're evolving. We're evolving as a species to become more conscious. But the level of our consciousness right now is just getting to this concept that that we that we have this core soul quality at all, and even though souls evolve, they whether they're in the spirit world or here, their character, their this core quality within them, this resonance, their mission, the soul mission, it has a very specific energy signature, and it will be in our universe, which is a 7-chakra universe, our world has these very specific, and the human body has a very specific way that it expresses. And one of the great things about the system, and the interesting element about this system, is that of course the first chakra is part of our life purpose.
So do we come? So you believe in reincarnation? Yes, we come back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
for sure.
That being the case, does it carry the same signature each time, or does it try on different ones for size?
No, it always carries the same signature, but it chooses. I mean, we choose our parents, and we choose them specifically for the moment in time when we're born, the opportunity, and we choose them specifically for their two energies, because we are a blend of our two parents' energies. And that gives the soul its vehicle for expressing its core quality in the world.
So this is darn interesting. Where'd you learn about this? What's your training in it?
Well, I did a 4-year training at the Institute of Healing Arts and Sciences, and then probably many lifetimes of running mystery schools, and I've been running my school now. I've been in this work for over 15 years, and worked with thousands of people through these models. And each year, my school we have 110 students each year come through the program, and we have a 3-year training in energy medicine.
Where are you located?
Located in the Boston area.
Nice. We've got a couple minutes of this segment left. Would you mind defining life purpose for us?
Sure. I mean, our life purpose is a sense of a sense of well-being. As you said, you're in your intro. It's like, oh, you're doing my whole talk. The life purpose for each of us is really to find, to recognize and to feel deep within us what a yes is and what a no is. And because our energy field, our chakras, are basically magnets, we are 24 hours a day. Our soul quality chooses, our chakras serve this profile that I talk about.
We're going to have to pick up this on the other side of a break. I'm sorry.
Right.
Rhys and I will return to our discussion on the flip side. We're coming to you through the X-Zone Broadcast Network. Don't miss the other fine shows and hosts on xzbn.net. You're listening to The Science of Magic, thescienceofmagic.net. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. There's more exploration to come, so don't you dare go away. Hi, I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Did you know that shamanism has been around for 50,000 years and practiced by all indigenous cultures? These ancients understood there's more to healing and health than just the physical. All 4 levels, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, must be addressed in order for us to enjoy healthy, abundant lives. To find quality shamanic healing you can trust, you need look no further than Path Home Long Distance Shamanic Healing Program. All Path Home practitioners have been trained and certified through Path Home Shamanic Art School, a Colorado State occupational school, and are handpicked, personally trained by me, Gwilda Wiyaka, to uphold the excellence of Path Home's long-distance program. Live abundantly. Schedule a shamanic session with me or one of my quality practitioners today. Call 303-775-3431 or visit findyourpathhome.com. Welcome back. This is The Science of Magic, a place where magic and science come together to promote enlightenment. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. Our guest this hour is Rhys Thomas, author of Discover Your Purpose and founder of the Rhys Thomas Institute of Energy Medicine. Rhys, energy medicine, there's an interesting phenomenon. Would you tell us what that is?
Sure. Well, energy medicine right now is being used as a term for the infinite number of energy techniques that are out in the world: Ayurvedic medicine, acupuncture, Reiki, laying on of hands, all many different techniques that are out there. Craniosacral are all energy medicine techniques because they release pain as medicine should do, and they bring the body into energetic balance. That's the way. So they use technique to bring the body into energetic balance to release some kind of either a physical, emotional, or mental issue. The way I teach energy medicine and the way I learned energy medicine is that it is not a technique. Is that energy medicine is the result of somebody discovering their deepest purpose in life and then finding a modality, whether it be some sort of a healing or medicine or therapeutic type of modality, or my favorite healer is Martin Luther King, speaking or inspiring. And so each person has the ability to inspire and heal in their own sort of unique way. And some people are born to be healers, and they have the healer archetype. But it's actually a lot more rare than people think. And just learning a technique does not make you a healer. What makes you a healer is discovering why you're really here, and then making sure that what you do in the world, whether it be running a radio show, or being an at-home mother or father, whatever you are really called to deep inside of you, and then expressing that and finding a modality, that is energy medicine. And most people can relate to the teacher that you had in kindergarten or second grade or third grade, the one that made it safe for you to be who you really are. Somehow they just were able, what their modality, their healing modality was teaching school. And all the children loved that person because that person was embodying their purpose in what they were doing. There were a bunch of teachers. Yeah.
Let me see if I get this. I feel a spark coming on, a brain cell firing here. Okay. So is it like if you're living your purpose as closely as you came wired to do, you're putting out a resonance or a frequency that is balanced and therefore healing to those around you?
Yes. And most importantly, the illness comes from, in my 15 years of working in energy medicine, I've never seen an illness that didn't come from a person other than them forgetting who they truly are. Mm-hmm. Because when you forget who you truly are, you try to run your energy through your body the wrong way. And when you try to run your energy through the body the wrong way, then there's resistance, then there's blocking, then there's all of this, and that causes the illness.
So it's like trying to plow a field with a Porsche.
Absolutely.
You speak of a deep calling. Would you address that?
Sure. And Everybody feels a deep calling in some way. The problem is that we're taught that we have to wait for our deep calling till after we retire, after we've done our work or succeeded or something. And a deep calling is really, for each of these profile qualities, is going to be similar. The creative people are going to always be called, no matter what they're told to do, they're going to always be called to sort of the higher mind, the higher way of looking at things. They're incredibly good with computers or art or photography or spirituality, and they love this higher mind, and they're always called to that and pulled to that. And they have upper chakras that are more advanced, and of course those are where they get pulled. And then the people that are deep feelers are really pulled toward one-on-one type of therapy and discussion, or sort of taking care of the elderly or children, because they're totally heart-centered. They live completely in the heart, this gentle heart that wants to hold others in unconditional love. And so they're called to that. They feel a calling to that. The people that are what we call team players, these people that are caretakers in the world, are called to people, and they have this incredible way of making people feel connected and connecting people and bringing them together and the family together and being there. And whether they're in a business or whether they're in a family, they're the ones who are making sure that everybody's pulling together and playing nicely and being there, and they mediate. And then,
it seems like
people.
It seems like our entire society is designed around keeping us away from our purpose, because we might be called to something, but there's always somebody right there going to tell you, yeah, but the harsh reality is you can't make money doing that. The harsh reality is you can't get along in the world doing that. You have to go to college and do this. And so how long does it take us to get beyond that conditioning? How can we move beyond that?
Well, the first thing to understand is just that that it exists, and that you've been if you're like most people out there, you are trying to become somebody that you think you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so the energy work that I teach, and that you can learn, chakra work or Reiki work, any type of energy work that you do, any type of deep feeling work that you do, begins the process of becoming, of knowing yourself at a deeper level. In my book, Discover Your Purpose, there's an exercise that I do called Your Secret Place Meditation. And you go back to a point in your childhood where you were maybe, when you were 4, 8, 10, something like that, and there was a place that you would go that was maybe in your house, maybe up in the attic, or maybe outside in the woods or somewhere around the house, somewhere that was your place, someplace that you would go. And it could be in another house, or it could be at a summer home or on the beach or someplace, but there's someplace that you went that was like, that was your safe haven to be you. And you didn't even think about it that way. You just knew when you were there, you loved being there. And this quality, one of these 5 qualities, this leadership quality, this achieving quality, this caretaking team player quality, this deep feeling qualities, this creative quality, these were totally present there. And you were no longer a thing. You were no longer a boy or a girl. You were non-form. You were just alive. And you were connected to all that was alive in a very specific way. And it has to be felt. And so part of learning as an adult to go back and recapture our wisdom and our calling is to realize that you never learn through thinking. You never can understand who you truly are through thinking. You have to feel it. And so energy work and doing work like meditation work, like the Secret Place meditation, where you actually go back and feel, what did it feel like to be who you are? Well, what you were doing in your secret place, wherever you were, whatever you were playing, and I used to hide in the woods, and I would in Little Rocky Knoll, and I would make superheroes out of rocks and sticks, and I love to imagine all these kinds of superheroes. And now what do? I have 110 students a year that come through the program, and I create superheroes out of them.
Yeah, there you go. So what I hear you saying here, what I hear you saying here, and this is really important in shamanism and in a lot of other fields, our imagination has been invalidated. But children are exercising their life purpose through their imagination, aren't they?
Yeah, they haven't been, as Don McGraw always talks about in the 4 Agreements, they haven't been domesticated yet. It's usually that the full domestication doesn't happen till 5, 6, 7 years old. So there are times, there are always breadcrumbs left by the soul as to who you actually are, because we've all been there. And then depending upon how hard our childhood was, we give it up earlier or later. But at some point, we then try to become an adult, which is, by the way, becoming an adult is the most childish thing you ever do. Because an adult is a child's, the only people that call someone an adult is a child. Because a child looks up at these big, huge people that appear to know what the heck they're doing and say, oh, that's an adult. And the adults are saying, yes, I'm the adult, and this is the way it is, and this is what you want to grow up to be. But truly, an adult is just a childish idea. The truth is that we're all children and totally alive inside, just like we were when we were children, until we try to be adults and hold it together and do the right thing and follow the rules. And the rules are we have to follow our feelings and follow our calling. And so getting more in touch with our feelings, healing our rigidity around our feelings, allows us to reconnect to a real calling and be called to lives.
So what happens if we don't live our life purpose? What are the results of that?
We end up feeling like there's something huge missing in our life. That's what the midlife crisis is all about. I call it the midlife calling. It's when the soul finally goes, hey, I'm over here. You haven't paid attention to me for the last 25 years, but I'm here. And we feel called So yeah, the result is similar to what I experienced, which was not feeling like I was being understood in my family, in my work. I had chronic physical ailments that the doctors couldn't figure out. And it was because I was trying to be and run my body and run my energy in a way that I wasn't born to do.
That's hard on you, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
hard on everyone, but it truly the life path is that we know who we are, we forget who we are, and then we realize that we have to. Now that we've made it in the world, or not made it in the world, or failed, or had our ups or downs, we have to go back to that place within us that's the most true. Because when I was saying about an energy medicine or a healer is someone who is the most human, the most willing and able to remind you that it's okay to be who you are, not to be like them. That's not a leader. A leader and a healer doesn't say, you need to be healthy like me or strong like me or like this. That's not a leader. That's a dictator. A leader is someone who models they find some modality in the world they love to do, speaking or healing or whatever they happen to love.
We're going to have to take another break. I'm sorry. Rhys and I will be back shortly, so don't leave us now. This is The Science of Magic, thescienceofmagic.net, the place where altruistic professionals of science and the esoteric create common ground for the betterment of our world. We're brought to you daily by the leader in paranormal, spirituality, and alternative health programming, the X Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net. Though the world seems in turmoil around us, let's not lose our way. The stars still shine down, blessing us with their light. The sun rises every morning, chasing away the cold and darkness. There are good people of service in this world. We have much to be grateful for as we're wrapped in the arms of all of God's creation. This is Gwilda Wiyaka, host of the Science of Magic Radio, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. I hope your holiday is filled with comfort and joy as you're surrounded by those you love. I'd like to thank all of you for being our loyal listeners on the X Zone Broadcast Network and for joining us on this grand adventure called life. As the New Year's dawns, let us all stand in truth as we embrace peace. Welcome back. This is The Science of Magic, bringing together gifted people of service to the world. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka, and one of those gifted people of service is our guest this hour, Rhys Thomas, author of Discover Your Purpose and founder of the Rhys Thomas Institute of Energy Medicine. Rhys, this is just such a fun subject, and I think a lot of us misunderstand our life purpose. Like you say, we're looking for it in our job. We're looking for it in all the wrong places. How does following our joy fit in with life purpose?
Well, when we talked in the last segment about the secret place, there's a way that we operate in the world. There's a way that we share ourselves, the way we laugh, the type of humor we have, and that quality within us. That we like a challenge. Some people like a real challenge. Some people like quiet. Other people like something that really stimulates their mind. Other people love a crowd. They love a party. They love it's like what is it that when you're in that environment really feeds you? And so, the biggest part of knowing our life purpose is being able to feel a yes. And I can tell you, and I'm sure that you've had the same experience through in different parts of your life, that when I thought I was supposed to be this super achiever, I would go into situations where I thought I was supposed to be happy, and I would act happy, like, this is it. I'm being successful. I'm speaking at a big convention, and I'm doing this thing, and I'm succeeding, or I'm in this board meeting, and this is what I'm supposed to be enjoying. And I would tell myself I was happy, but I knew I wasn't really happy. And yet, when I'm teaching and when I'm enjoying and playing with ideas with people and helping them sort of rise above whatever limited thinking process they're in, that just totally gives me the energy and the juice. And so finding a yes within us is finding that environment that we love to be in and that exists. And often, we have to open up the sixth chakra in a totally different way rather than in just sort of defining ourselves, opening up the sixth chakra to realize that where we have been heading probably isn't totally where we're supposed to be heading, and we need to feel where we're supposed to go and know that there is and find through the sixth chakra where in the world we find this safety, this home, and when we surround ourselves with people that have that energy, that see that in us and want that in us. See, our purpose has two elements from the heart, at least. We have to be able to receive what we need from people in relationship or from the world. But we also need to be able to share who we really are and have it received and validated. So our purpose has a double edge at all times, just like the heart. The heart has to give and receive simultaneously. It can't just do one or the other if it's going to be healthy. And our life purpose is the same way. We need to create an environment for ourselves with people, with work, and where we love to be, the warmth, the cold. You like the north where it's cold, or you like the south where it's warm? Go there. Be where you feel the best, and then what will happen is that when you interact with other people, you're sharing this quality, this person within you that you absolutely love. And most people, that's their biggest struggle. They're not so sure they love themselves. They're not even sure who they are, who's in them to love. And you model that self-love. Martin Luther King changed the world by saying, this is what I stand for. This is what I love in myself, and it's unbendable in me. He didn't say, be like me. He said, this is what it looks like, without saying it out loud, this is what it looks like to stand for yourself. And when you are able to do that, that's the healing. Healing comes when people remember who they are at the deepest level, and a healer is the person who wakes them up to that.
Our guest this hour is Rhys Thomas, author of Discover Your Purpose and founder of the Rhys Thomas Institute of Energy Medicine. His website is rhysthomasinstitute.com, and I'm sure they can find your book on your website as well as Amazon and all those other fun places, yes?
Yep, and actually there's a discoveryourpurposebook.com. You can buy the book there, and you can also get some keynote speeches I've done on profiles and some other cool stuff, a member site and all that.
Wonderful. What does it look like when one or more of us live our life purpose? If what you're doing takes hold, if what I'm doing takes hold, and people start to live their true expression, do we start to fit together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle and create a larger whole that's greater than the sum of its parts?
Yes, so much so. And that's why I teach these 5 qualities. Right now, the world's being run by the leaders and the achievers. And because they don't have the heart of the team players, the caretakers, and the emotional intelligence people and the creative people, they end up we end up living in a world that is a bit heartless in the way it pursues success. And so without these 5 qualities in the world, we are not going to survive as a species. And without those 5 qualities within each one of us, we can't have compassion for the other people in the world. So each of us have a leader within us. We have to lead sometimes. Each of us have to achieve at times. Each of us have to caretake others at times. Each of us have to feel deeply at times. And each of us have to be creative at times. But one of those qualities is our purpose in life. And we know that. We can feel it. And it's just a matter of giving yourself permission to let that be the primary focus for you, and knowing that that's how you contribute to society. And when societies have the deep feelers with just as big a vote as these huge charismatic leaders, the Donald Trumps in the world, we will live in a very different world. We have some, like you said, are people evolving? Absolutely. But it's going to take those softer natured people to see that they actually are powerful and are essential to the process, rather than buying the story that they aren't as useful.
Beautiful. Are there particular people that we came to work with in the process of doing our life purpose? And if so, how can we recognize them?
They're standing in front of you.
How did they get there? You just draw them in?
I started to say before that the energy field is just the law of attraction. Every chakra is like a magnet, and it pulls you 24 hours a day, your life purpose. If you are looking at your life and saying, this isn't my life, I don't like this life, I don't want this life, all it means is that you don't know who you are.
So what pulls us out of our life purpose? What are the pitfalls that we need to avoid?
Well, it starts really young. It starts with when we decide we'd rather be loved than be us when we're children. And we're going to get more attention by being who our parents want us to be, and who society wants us to be, who our religion wants us to be, rather than being who we are. And we have to, at some point, at 3, 4, 5 years old, we realize that we would rather give up on who we are to get more attention and love. And then we continue to do that throughout our lifetime until it's unbearable. And we live in what I call a quiet desperation. And that's when we have the midlife calling to our spirituality, to something deeper. And that spirituality, when you say, well, what does it look like when people are doing this? They're having fun. People that are living their purpose are funny and fun.
Follow
They're
your
doing
joy.
all sorts of things, but they are literally having a riot all the time.
If you were
Everything
to share, we have a couple minutes left. If you were to share with the listeners the first step, the one recommendation you'd give to start on this path back to their life purpose, what would it be?
Well, they can go to my website and they can take the profile assessment and start recognizing which of these they are. But the first thing would just be, what makes you happy, and not what should make you happy, but what has made you happy throughout your life. When you were a child, what was the thing that made you the most happy? And now, how can you re-embody that, reconnect to that as an adult?
You speak a lot of chakras. Do our chakras generate our auric field, and then that's what does the push-pull in the quantum field?
Yes. Yeah, the chakras serve this soul purpose. So there's a line that runs down through us, which I trained for 25 years in the martial arts, called the Hara line. And that Hara line has our contracts on it. They're the unbendable, non-negotiable parts. They're the profile. As I say, you don't get to change your profile. That's the quality that you're here to live through. And then your chakras represent how you're going to attract to you everything you need, all the materials, all the consciousness, all the things you need in your life to live that purpose. And so yes, the aura is made up of the chakras, and the chakras are, each one are literally like small planets that have a gravity. They pull to you what you need, and they also don't pull to you what you're demanding that they have. So if you're ramming something into a chakra, that chakra is going to get sick because you're feeding it the wrong food.
You know, we're out of time. It's been so wonderful having you on, and thank you for your beautiful service in the world. Our guest this hour has been Rhys Thomas, author of Discover Your Purpose and founder of the Rhys Thomas Institute of Energy Medicine. His website, rhysthomasinstitute.com. This has been The Science of Magic. Remember, you can always listen to past thought-provoking episodes on our website, thescienceofmagic.net. Until next time, dear ones, may you be blessed with knowledge and comforted with love as you live a purposeful life.